Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we now finally have some pretty special things to get to go and talk about when it comes to PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, as you guys probably know, this week, and even earlier on, we've been kind of on that bittersweet back and forth. Some games have done phenomenal, some things in the PSSR have done great, and as well, some things are not doing so well. So it's almost kind of crazy on my YouTube channel, where it feels like it's like a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like, this is good, this is bad, this needs to be fixed, but this actually was worked out perfectly. And I've kind of had that same mindset degree, where it's like the PlayStation games are doing great. The third-party games can be doing great if they implement things like PSSR and ray tracing well, and some are kind of having a little bit of issues implementing it so far. But right now, we're actually seeing once again one of the more bigger PlayStation Studio games that actually was delayed. This actually, I think, was actually not an initial day one PS Pro release, but once again, as we kind of see these games having a little bit of issues, I'd rather these game studios take a few extra weeks, few months to go and fine-tune up the PS5 Pro, especially if we have a chance to go and see as wellly implemented as we have seen right now. So we're going to go talk about the fact that the next upcoming big PlayStation game is going to have a chance to have some crazy big changes with some big things like even more 8K support, VR reprojections, brand new implementations of PSSR, and as well even kind of cool things such as segmented ray tracing, where in certain features and certain modes they actually have a chance to turn ray tracing on and off. Basically, there's a lot of really cool features going on over here, and I want to hear your thoughts and comments on all this down below. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Surprised that you guys are subscribed over here on the channel itself. And for the PS5 Pro giveaway ending in the next few weeks, we'll probably have that done before the Christmas time, so you guys all know. We also have all the affiliate links down below for consoles, PS5's on sale, PSVR2, all that good stuff. And well, let's go dive on, and of course the Twitters and Twitch down below. So this one's gonna be a fun one, because this is all now in regards over here to the brand new Gran Turismo 7 update. And right now we've had a chance to see kind of more hands-on with it and discussions on it, where it's apparently one of the most comprehensive PS5 Pro upgrades that people have had a chance to see so far. Pushing now and implementing 8K. If you guys saw our video earlier on, we were discussing how the Callisto protocol has now actually had that chance, that weird, somewhat like 6K, 8K upscaling and weird integrations with AI. It's like kind of weird because it's not like a true 8K, but like it's still pretty dope because it's still basically using upscaling to get there. And of course, as well, the more that becomes standard, the better. And of course, there's more ray tracing, better VR, new image quality options, and of course, the biggest deal, more frame rates at better and higher qualities. And this is kind of a big one too, because in regards to Digital Foundry and other various things as well, have had a chance to do this big deep dive on this, saying the Gran Turismo 7 remains one of the best looking games this generation, with remarkably high quality materials, lighting, and visual design, which probably makes it one of the best games out there when it comes to games and graphics. Car games are primarily sold on graphics. You want to see the car shimmer, you want to see the lights, you want to see the environments, you want to see like just literal like the nighttime races that make everything seem very immersive and dope. And as well, this is one of the bigger ray tracing games, bigger VR games too. And on top of that, there's been a huge amount of potential to deploy this extra horsepower that comes with the PS5 Pro. So that the ray tracing accelerations on the PSSR and brand new implementation ways, because don't forget, you can kind of do anything you want to do with ray tracing and the PSSR. Now, it's kind of like a building block. You basically have to build it up well to enjoy it too. And it seems dope. So right now they have different things like 3 new settings for 8K support, VR reprojections, and the PSSR. And this is what kind of things get a little bit more on the funner side over here. I'm going to maybe let the video go play up in the background as you guys can maybe see some of this, where they have highlighters that kind of go through some of the article, and there's some cool things in the video I want to show us over here over from Digital Foundry, which have been, once again, doing phenomenal on the PSSR in PS Pro gameplay. So basically, the graphics priority set was also different, where they basically they prefer ray tracing or resolution mode that now provides ray tracing during gameplay rather than just in replays and photo mode. So that basically means that like instead of it just being like in like the cutscenes or in like the showing off the racing map or like, you know, just looking through the actual old racing files, it's in the game itself. So it has like reflections when you're in your car. Like you basically kind of see like how dope it can be. You have a chance to go like see like random trees flying on by. You can see the roads flying on by. You can see other cars in the actual car's reflections in the windows. Like this is how it kind of is in real life. If you're driving and you can go and have a reflection, you can see light bouncing off your car. You can see trees bouncing off your car. You can see things in your mirror. Like it's a really cool idea. So reflections are now more accurately corresponding to the world around you. They update really frequently. And then there's still a few things they say like limitations with, say, trees, for example. They do look a little bit on the simplified side, but that's also because it's only a $700 console and it's like still brand new technology, ray tracing, all that type of stuff. But one of the crazy things, though, and I kind of want to highlight this really quick, is that they have a really, really cool implementation when it comes to the inside of the cars themselves. Now, I forgot kind of exactly where it is in the video. I'm going to talk over it as I sneeze. We got the Thanksgiving stickies over here. But basically, they just had a chance to kind of have a more in-depth on the game. Like, once again, it has just better reflections on it, makes everything look a lot nicer, looks a lot better. And at the end of the day, this is what people want to see when it comes to racing games, at least in my honest opinion. Now, as well, they also had some crazy interior, kind of how we just showed you guys over there. We're utilizing things such as the PSSR, allow them to take this to the next level. And this is what I've been talking about a lot, where PlayStation studios themselves make it good. Like, this is their technology. They will take this like hand and fist to make sure it's great. And this is like, we can see, like, here's like your actual car reflecting inside another person's car. This is how it is in real life. That's how it should be. Now, some other games may not even include that, or they might think it's extra bandwidth. You can kind of see the ray tracing on and off as you flip it on. This is like a night and day difference when it comes to colors and the graphics and like how the car is. Like, this is, I think, the perfect example to look at right here on the screen, and seeing the on off, because this is quite literally the difference on the PS5 to PS5 Pro, utilizing ray tracing, utilizing the PSSR, etc. And like, you could quite literally see, like, stare at this for a few seconds in the video. I don't really have to really talk over it, just look. And you can kind of see how there is extra details. There's extra shadows. It looks more crystal clear. It makes everything look a lot more enjoyable. And some of the stuff was available on the PS5, although it was only in like basically the cutscenes and basically through like the replays, which is still nice, but it's kind of taking the, like, I guess, encoding, computing load off of the game and the cars themselves. But if now with the better improved motion of the PS5 Pro with PSSR, etc., that is allowing it to be inside the game itself, which makes it look so much more phenomenal and better. And as well, they also had a chance to push into 8K. And the 8K gaming is one of the more cooler parts because it's more of the fine-tuned into it. You have a chance to go and like see the game and upscale it. If you have an 8K TV, you can utilize it. Now, of course, you still have to have the 8K textures, so it's still a weird upscaler from 4K, but it's still a really big improvement. And as well as some things like the big interiors in these environments, and like, you know, how people are in the background. Like, it just looks dope. You can just see it, like, looks better. It looks nicer. It looks like you're in more of a realistic situation. And that's not all, because they added a bunch of other really cool updates out here too as well. Once again, the PSSR, which has the optimal setting as mentioned earlier. So when you're using this PSSR, the internal resolution drops as low as 1080p with the 4K output resolution versus the native 4K with the PSSR disabled and the default TAA active. You can then use the in-game ray tracing with or without the PSSR, but the ray tracing features in the cockpit are only available when you have that PSSR, which kind of makes sense to you just trying to fine-tune and make things look nicer. Although they're saying based on this one, you'd expect it to be inferior to the native 4K presentation, and that is like indeed the case, but they're trying to basically go and try to fill in the blanks a little bit better, which makes it nicer. So the gap between the two is smaller than they even expected. There's a few noticeable issues on it, but at the same time, just due to the fact of how efficient the technology is, it kind of bridges that gap very well and makes things a lot easier too on top of it. Now, there was still a little bit of these like flickering issues, as we've mentioned with the PSSR, which is still like the big bread and butter, the big issue with the PSSR, but still they're saying it looks good in all these situations. So whether they want to use it or not, you can basically go pick and choose how you want to go do it. And it also depends if you want to be in the cockpit with ray tracing or not. Some people like to play their racing games where it's like the top-down view. Some people want to play inside the car. I usually do top-down, how I usually play these types of games when I was playing Gran Turismo. But yeah, they're basically saying like, that's cool. Like, they have like this 8K, and they don't really have a chance to go and do 8K capture, like capture cards, Elgato cards don't usually have it. But at the same time, it would still baseline make the game look nicer regardless, and there's not many people with 8K monitors, so kind of also makes sense too as well. But it's crazy because this is all apparently good stuff. Like, the performance is better, and it also kind of gives you more options if you want to utilize the ray tracing. You want to reduce the resolution, target higher frame rates. If you're doing more of a racing, you want to be more competitive, you can do that. And as well, depends if you want to have a higher hertz monitor or not. A lot of really big things out here to it. But basically, a lot of these things are saying like it's good. There's still a few things that have to be fine-tuned when it comes to AI or PSSR or how you want to play out the game too as well, but it's big. But one big thing though too is that because of the PlayStation VR2, a lot of people utilizing racing wheels, which they do for games like Gran Turismo, or are playing also in PSVR2, which is an integratable thing with the console, which if you want to pick one up, it's down below. But it's kind of nice because they had a chance to push the VR, and with all this on the PS5 Pro, it should overall improve improve the performance to as well. So now, not alone do they have a better 8K mode, which is nice, and most of the ray tracing makes it look phenomenal, and they've added more ray tracing overall, but it also makes the PlayStation VR2 version even better and even nicer too as well. So like, this is cool. Like, they're fixing big issues on this reprojection options, basically fixing all this type of stuff. It's making it look super crisp. The double image effect is gone. All like the remaining blur is addressed, and like, it's just nice. They're adding a lot more clarity to the game itself as a whole, and on top of this, is just great because it just seems like everything they're doing, it's all improving the performance, whether it's in like ray tracing, whether it's trying to push 8K, whether it's just adding ray tracing, whether it's cockpit view, whether it's just trying to add more frames. At the end of the day, even the AI implementation is all around very, very nice. So it's just kind of nice to kind of see that we finally have big updates and we're kind of seeing big improvements, and I'm happy to see it nonetheless. So give me your thoughts and comments on everything down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on for the PS5 Pro giveaway. Subscribe here, our second channel, the Twitter's down below, and it goes to all the affiliate links down below as well for the consoles, and I appreciate y'all for watching in the first place.